All right, so it's the next day. We're gonna try to get a little spark going here. Handheld touchscreen here. I did find my stylus, but it doesn't have the little plastic connectors in it that I was hoping to find. So I went ahead and reconnected both banks of spark plugs. And the reason I did that, and I left the fuel unplugged here. The reason I did that, so in electronics, sometimes if you have like a particular impedance load that your computer is firing against, it's firing and it needs a resistive load so that it doesn't foul out. So it's not going to start because there's no fuel, but I didn't want to mess up the coils. I didn't know how that computer system would work, so I just went ahead and re-terminated everything. Plug number 1 right here to the tester. I have it gapped about the same as a plug would be. We should see some spark right there. Okay, I may just have to reground this somewhere better. All right, so far we've tested 6 out of 8, and so far we've got spark on all of them, but we just need to go around and make sure that we're seeing spark everywhere. All right, dude, come on. 2 more, just 2 more, we're almost done. Come on, we're almost done.
2 more?
Just 2 more, and then I'll let you play. I'll let you know when to turn it over, okay? Okay, go ahead. All right, it's good. It's good. Thank you. 1 more after this, okay?
Okay.
All right, so what's going on? We've checked spark on all 8 cylinders. We still have 3 on the passenger side, sorry, the driver's side that's not getting hot on the headers. Yet we have spark on all 8. It's probably something to do with the injectors gummed up or something, I don't know. Yeah. So I hear some bubbling going on, and we got transmission fluid coming out here. Right there. That's coming from our cooler lines. So guess what? We have to stop again, fix something else again. And that's gonna be a pain because I had to put those lines on before I lifted the transmission up. So that may be a little bit more involved. Let's see real quick if we can see that. If not, I'll probably have to move the car around. Yeah, it's wet. wet all down the lines. So here we are stopping again. We have to address the transmission fluid leak before we can crank it. So that may be a little bit more involved, unless I can get a wrench on there and snug something up, or maybe it's a hose clamp. Maybe it's something like that. I think that would be the best thing if it was a hose clamp and not the actual A&N fitting. And then what we'll probably have to do is pull the fuel rails off. I need to go by the junkyard and get a little pigtail for the injectors. Pull them out one by one, hook a hose to the feed side, hook it to a battery so it's open, and just spray through it and see if anything's coming out. So the injectors may be gummed up on that side, or they may not be getting signal, or they may be wired incorrectly on the harness. So first things first is address the fluid, then we'll go back to the injectors, figure out what's going on there. So that's the front coolant line. It's dry. The rear one's wet, so that's where our fluid's leaking out of, so we got to fix that. Since I've rolled the car under, we got a wet spot here, and it's ran down there. Being that it's dripping right there, I'm pretty sure it's coming from our heater core lines that go to the firewall. I think our leak's back there. We'll see if I can identify where it's coming from. If not, I'll just loop the water pump back on itself and bypass that for right now. All right, so I reoriented the connector on the transmission down there, up there, and tightened it up. I did find that my drain plug on my oil pan was a little loose. I did have a little bit of oil there. So I am trying to source a pigtail connector for the injectors so that I can pulse them and spray them out. The thought process behind that is that I probably have some kind of gummed up buildup in my injectors. And so I pulled the number 2 cylinder injector off. You will not be able to see it likely. I may try to zoom in. Let me try to get it right there so that if I can zoom in, I'll be able to get it in the video. But there is some definite trash in just this one. And these are the ones that are firing. These 4 are firing. It's those side, that side that I think that I'm going to find some gummed up stuff. So I'm going to try to gently get these off. That way I don't damage these O-rings. Find the connector, spray them out. And then all we have to do is worry about the cylinder with low compression over there. Hopefully I can get a connector here in the next few days, clean them out, and we can get this thing cranked up. All right, so we got the 4 off on the passenger side. Now we're getting on to the driver's side, where we're only getting any kind of heat on cylinder number 1. This one is number 1. It come from this injector right here. What we got? It very clearly is gummed up, like really bad. It is gummed up for sure in there. I'm thinking on 3, 5, and 7, I'm gonna find that they're completely gummed up. And I'm just basically, for right now, I'm just taking some carb cleaner, jamming a straw up in there and spraying it out. But I want to be able to pulse it so that it opens so I can physically see the fuel or cleaner spraying out of it. But yeah, we're gonna do this to the other ones here. All I'm really doing here is I've removed the retainer clip. The O-rings got a little bit of a death hold on it, so I'm using just a trim piece tool. Being that it's angled a little bit this way, I'm just catching the inside there, applying a little bit of pressure and popping them out, which I couldn't just pull them out with direct force. I'm trying not to break anything. Actually, that one don't look too bad. That's actually one of the cleanest ones I've seen. Hey, so I went and got some, whoa, okay, that was unexpected. I went and got some materials so that we can clean these injectors out. I ran by O'Reilly's and bought a few cans of gum out carbon choke parts cleaner. Nothing that I could purchase that was an aerosol actually says for injectors. The only actual injector cleaner is the kind that you would distribute to your gas tank. I also got a El Cheapo 9-volt battery because probably not going to use it again. And I got some bypass caps, assorted sizes. So I thought about getting hoses and all this stuff, but this will probably be just simpler if we just kind of carefully take off the O-ring. Like so. Then find a cap. So I'm probably going to get this one, push it up onto this larger diameter piece, drill a hole, then I just insert the straw from this and I can spray into it. Alright, let's see if this works. Must need 3 hands here. Oh, don't want to ruin my fancy paint job. So maybe I need to put like a little zip tie on it. Alright, so this is a tested injector. I have some wires on the pins. I want you to listen. This thing's clicking. It's a solenoid. Those have been tested. And we have injector on cylinder 3 and cylinder 4, and I can't get either one to click at all. And when I test them, .5 ohms. 12.7 ohms. They have the right resistance. When you apply 9 volts, it should be current flow. It should be actuating these solenoids. But I think they're just so gummed up that they can't move. They're just seized up. So I need to see, because those injectors at the parts houses are probably gonna be about 40 bucks a piece. And you can get a whole set of 8 on eBay. Would it be beneficial to get some refurbished that are at a higher flow rate to save myself money later for 60 bucks? Or just go back with these and then have spares? So I'm going to keep working with them to see if I can get them freed up, clean them out. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they need to be knocked on a little bit. But so yeah, it looks like we have 2 that are bad, which is weird that number 2 was doing it, because number 2 primary was getting hot. unless it was just thermal heat from 4, 6, and 8 making its way to 2, which they do got to flow past it, so they might have just been heating up 2. That might have been what was going on. So I just gave this one another shot and it worked, but it's not because I was able to just pulse it. No, actually it just needed a little bit of act right, I guess. So it's a solenoid, right? It's a free moving part. It's just a mechanical plunger. I literally just took this and smacked it about 5 times right there. Pop, pop, pop. And then put the leads back on it. Now it clicks. So maybe it just needed something to jar loose whatever was stuck in there, but I was able to spray through it, so that's what counts. So kind of curious to see what happens with the other one. Nothing. Nothing's happening. The bad thing about doing this type of stuff, it might be prone to get stuck again. It might be just a temporary fix, or it may act right. Who knows? Nothing.